Ancient Civilizations Audio Visual Presentation. The Cumulating Performance Task, other known CPT, is worth 30% of your final mark. Your final CPT product consists of researching one ancient civilization and presenting the information to the class. There are various steps that comprise this project, and each should be completed in sequence to help with the final product. Each step is outlined below. Step 1. Research civilization. Research one of the following ancient civilizations and present the information to the class. Ancient civilizations include India, China, Islamic Middle East, Incas, Mayas, Aztecs, Japan, African Kingdom and Empires, Celts, Persians, Phoenician and Carthage, Israel, early Middle Ages. The assignment is worth 30% of your final mark. You will be given class time during the next month to research and write your report. Marks will be assigned for originality, creativity, and accuracy. Be sure to include as many visuals as you can and present your information in an interesting and creative fashion. You should keep a folder, binder, duotang dedicated to your notes for this project, which include all of your research notes and all reference information necessary to complete a works cited list.
Good. So step 1 is selecting your civilization, okay? And research, of course. Now, you can choose any one of these civilizations. If there's a civilization that I did not include, you can send me a message and I will let you know if you're allowed to cover that civilization, or else you can choose from one of these. Okay.
Does the early Roman civilization, is that count, or is there?
Ooh, that's a good question. So if you're a student that really wants to do ancient Greece, ancient Rome, we would have to discuss, just because I'm covering those two, right? So
oh, okay, I see.
Right, that's why these are ones that I haven't covered, or I've covered a little bit, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I would hold off questions until the end, okay? So just keep your questions and then I will answer them all when we're done reading.
Okay.
Step 2.
Preliminary report outline. Once you have compiled all the information for each of the topics listed above, create a report outline to organize the material you have discovered in your research. This is a skeletal outline that you will use as a guide in step 3. Contents. Your presentation must include the following. 1. Reasons for the rise and fall of the civilization. 2. A timeline which includes significant dates in the history of this civilization. 3. A map of the civilization locating ancient sites and important artifacts found. 4. An overview of 4 significant people. 5. A description of the major accomplishments of the civilization and its contribution to development of other civilizations. And then 6 is the bibliography, includes at least 5 sources, proper bibliographic format.
Good, thank you. So again, this is basically, these are the 6 or the 5 key components to this CPT, right? This is what I'm looking for, right? If you notice, every civilization I cover, this is really what I'm trying to present to you, these 5 elements, right? So yeah, so it's as if you are creating a unit on one civilization. That's basically, it's like you're a teacher creating one unit from a civilization that we haven't covered, okay? And these are really the 5 key components that I'm looking for. Step number 3.
Topics and report writing. Now that you've completed your research and created an outline, you should record your information into a well-organized report. The report must contain an introduction, which gives a general overview of your civilization, a body, which contains all of the topics researched, and a conclusion, which summarizes the best aspects of your civilization.
Good. Now you'll see here topics, right? Choose your information from the following topics. I mean, every civilization, if you've noticed, I've tried to cover some of these topics, right? Religion, daily life, writing, literature, art, trade, technology, education. Now, I clearly don't get to all of them, right? Now, same with you. You are going to cover some of these items. You may not cover all of them. Some civilizations weren't really advanced in sciences, right? Or technology, or architecture, literature. That's fine, right? I usually will pick and choose a handful of these. You do not need to cover all of these topics, but you should try to, cover some of them, of course, right? Daily life, religion, whichever relate to your civilization. You do not have to cover or include all, but these are some of the elements of a civilization that you cover, right? Whenever you're teaching about a report. So step 3 is your report, which is the written component. There's a written component and a visual component. We'll get there shortly. Okay. Step 4.
Visual and maps. You must have interesting photographs, maps, etc. to accompany and complement your script. The photos must be good quality and there must be a variety.
Good. So step 4 is easy, right? Just go through Google Photos and find lots of visuals and maps that you want to include. And
For your Step 5, final product. For your final product, you will create a presentation using one of the following options: website, PowerPoint, video that is narrated, brochure, or written analysis. Be sure your narrations is timed appropriately with visuals and that you speak clearly with a varied tone of voice. Moreover, remember your audience. Make the video/PowerPoint fun to watch. It should be colorful and lively, containing music, visual effects, appropriate transitions, and brief explanatory captions or subheadings. Be creative, imaginative, and engaging.
thank you so much. Can we all give an applause for Sarah for going through that? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Very good. So 5 steps in this CPT. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I want to be very clear before I get to the questions. Okay. Everybody has to submit a written report. So I know it says here you create one of them, and one of them is a written analysis. Everybody has to go through step 3. That's the written report. It's not an essay, right? It's just a report, including an intro and a conclusion of your findings, right? Which is going to be very similar to what you're going to create in your visual, which is down here. Now you have some options with your visual. Some of you may want to make a cool website. Some of you the easiest one, of course, is just a PowerPoint, right? You could do that too. Some of you, and I really like this, maybe want to do a video. Do you know how I show a lot of the Academy videos where the individual is speaking and there's a timeline on the screen and he's using photos and he's using marker to write names and stuff? You can do something like that as well. Okay, that is fine. If you want to make a brochure, that's fine as well. So these are different options for your visual. If you're not happy with any of these, or you don't feel comfortable making a website or a video, you are allowed to just make a PowerPoint, which is certainly is the easiest one. But there are different options. Okay, but everybody must have the write-up for step 3. Okay, and in terms of what I'm looking for, these 5 points, well, 6 with the bibliography, and then incorporating whichever of these you can include for your civilization, right? Just like I do, right? Writing trade. I don't cover all of these, but I try to do my best to cover most. And that's it. And the due date is in 1 month. It's April 1st, which is a Thursday. And these are your civilizations that I have not covered in depth or at all. Now, I will open up the floor for questioning. Okay. Okay, so first question. The Renaissance. Ooh, wow. Sir, are we allowed to do the Renaissance? 14th. I do like the Renaissance. Don't get me wrong. It's too far out. The Renaissance is too far out. That's more modern history. Okay. It's just too far. Okay. For the Renaissance. So I think it's not old enough. Yes. Okay. So I'm sorry, Stephanie. I'm going to say no to that one. Okay. Next is KD. Go ahead, KD. I know you had a question.
Oh, sir, my thing was that I want to tell you I came in at like 12:37.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to come from the school saying I skipped the class or something.
Okay, no. Thanks for letting me know. Did you get what I went through for the CPT though?
I got the later part, so I'm going through the beginning. I'm just reading it right now.
Okay, take some time, read it, and if you have any questions, let me know. Dina.
Sir, so when you say like African kingdoms, like any of them, like
Yeah,
how like
so for the African kingdoms, yes, there are many that you can choose. You can choose one. Okay. I mean, there are more of the popular ones that you would have heard of before. Choose one, and you can let me know which one you want to do. That's why I wrote and empires as well, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you would choose one. You don't have to do all of them. Okay, Tina.
So for step 3, when you're asking for a report writing, are you asking for almost like an informal essay? So for each body paragraph, it'd be whatever topic that we choose from the choices you give us?
No, it's not an essay. It's not an essay. It's more of a report. You can break it up into different paragraphs if you want. In terms of the format, I'm not going to be picky with that. Again, I'm more looking for that you're covering the information from the civilization, right?
So it's more of like a summary of all the information we found for each
Exactly.
like specific topic.
Yes,
And
definitely
then
more of a summary, not an essay.
okay, so we don't have to be like super formal and follow all like the formalities of proper
No.
essay writing.
You do not. Thank you for asking that question. You do not. Okay, I'm not going to be too picky on that. No. Okay.
And one more question for that step. Do we have to do it in like Chicago style or MLA or APA?
I always have my kids. I know every teacher is different, but I try to be consistent with all my classes and say MLA. Okay.
All right.
MLA is always what I ask my kids, and I think it's a pretty standard, pretty easy format to use. So everybody, yeah, let's keep it consistent with MLA. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Sir,
Yeah.
so like for like the Islamic Middle East, so like we have to choose one caliphate as well.
Well, you can choose one. I would just do an overview. Just you don't have to necessarily go with one. Do an overview of both, right? If you really want to specialize and focus on one, you can. But as a whole, it's the Islamic Middle East. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So like what time period? Like the golden age of Islam and like Middle East.
Well, okay. I would wait on that because I'm going to give you some research, some resources to study. I think which will give you a better timeline. Okay. So just yeah. Okay. Sabrina.
Like just to clarify, for if we're picking African kingdoms and empires, it's not like the entire continent, right? Like we just pick one country or empire to focus in on.
Yes, you would pick one empire or yes, one group. You don't have to do the whole continent. No.
Okay, cool. Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Sarah.
I was running out of the things that we have to choose to write about, kind of like whether it's religion or technology. Do you think, like, how many would you suggest we try and pump out?
I would say, I mean, let me just take a look at here. I included all of them here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 15 here. I would say even if you did half, like seven or eight, I mean, I think that's enough. If you really want to go above and beyond, you can do more, but you definitely don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Because I mean, when you're dealing with a civilization, you can write 100-page report. I mean, there's so much to write about, so you have to stop somewhere. Okay.
Most definitely.
Tina.
Sorry, sir, I had another question.
Yeah.
but
That's fun.
I was wondering if there was a specific timeline for everything we had to hand in. Like, when do you want us to give you our final like civilization we're going to research, and then when do you want us to hand in like the preliminary report, or do you want it all handed in on like April 1st?
No, so in the next few days, I think by the end of the week, I would like everybody to send me a private message. So every message for the CPT is going to be under the private message, right? Like, so when you go, if you're following my screen, I can go to CPT and then I can go to assign and I can see all your names, right? So I can go to Tina and I can write you a private message. So this is where you're going to send me a private message. You can say Inca, right? Or I'm going to present on the Incas, right? So everything's going to be done here, okay? So any message you send me will be under the CPT, okay? And by the end of the week, I would like everybody to send me a message on which one they're going to be studying.
All right. And so
Now,
then
in
for the rest,
so the final is going to be due, the final product is April 1st. And I'm going to say I am going to make a date. I haven't come up with the date yet, but yes, where everybody's going to have to send me at least step 2. So step 2, which is the outline. So everybody, so there's going to be one step, and that's, well, first step is picking one. The second deadline will be their skeletal outline, and then the final step.
all right.
Is that
Thanks,
fair?
sir.
Also, you're basically sending me like a rough draft, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that will be closer to, in the middle of March.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Because yeah, I don't want students to leave this to the last couple days to get started. So, what else? Questions, Rachel?
Oh, I was just wondering if we are gonna do the Chinese ancient civilizations, can we pick like one dynasty to go in depth with?
Yeah. So yes, because again, Chinese civilization is so broad, it's so big that yes, you can absolutely condense and make it one dynasty. That's fine too. Just be very clear when you send me your response to what you're going to cover. Okay. That's really
Okay,
all you got to
thank you.
do. Be specific when you write to me your civilization. And if I have an issue with it, I'll let you know. Is that fair?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The textbook have the timeline. Yeah, your Echoes from the Past textbook is fantastic. It has pretty much all of these civilizations, most. Okay, these are pretty much all in there, which will give you a good kind of a good way to start, right? Or at least give you an idea. Think about how I kind of put together my units. That's basically what you're doing. Like, there's a lot we still don't cover, right? We're not covering all of Greece. I'm doing my best, but you kind of have to pick and choose what you want to focus on. Yep. More questions? So Stephanie, you really want to do Renaissance? If you really want to do Renaissance, I will think about it, okay? Stephanie, if that's
Oh yeah. Say that I'm doing Japan,
Yeah.
and there are different periods, right? Like Nara period and Heian period,
Yeah.
and so all of it goes all the way to the 16th to 18th century. So I'm
Mhm.
not sure if I'm supposed to research the whole stretch of Japan.
Well, you're going to research it. You don't necessarily have to I mean, again, you're going to focus in on certain parts, right? I mean, just like the Roman Empire, the Roman Empire kind of ends in 476, but it still continued into the Byzantine Empire, which goes for another 1,000 years. You don't have to cover all of it, but yes, you could certainly pick a time frame that you want to focus on. That's fine too.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
I mean, guys, you don't have to be, again, it's like you're creating a unit for your students. Think of it like you're creating a unit for your students. I mean, you can't give them everything, but you are trying to create something that you can teach and they can take from it. Right?
Sir, yeah, I had a question. Like when you say like Islamic Middle East, like Islam came in 1600 AD. So like
Mhm.
if there's like it's in the 1500s, is it still considered ancient?
I would let me get back to you in terms of when you would stop, right? Because I mean, we're focusing in on mostly antiquity. However, I know that some of these will, they span at least 1500, I think. I mean, because the Middle Ages goes right up into the 1500. I would try to stop it there. Nothing past 1500.
Oh, okay.
Good questions. I'm going to give you guys a gift now, okay? This is a gift. Hold on. So, in terms of research, let me give you this. Copy. So if you guys go into this website here, this is my website here, and the password is Rome. If you click this, okay, I have 2 textbooks here, Echoes from the Past and Different Units, and Textbook Odyssey Through the Ages, different units, okay, in different civilizations. This, you can base a lot of your material off of this. So at least you have, this is your starting point, okay? So you understand kind of this really breaks the timelines up. So you could focus on these timelines, okay? So these are 2 textbooks. One is the one we have, Echoes, and another one, Odyssey. Does everybody understand? Can everybody get on there?
Yeah, I got on this. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Yeah. So these are 2 textbooks, and it breaks it down by chapter, right? So you can focus in on these chapters and do your research, right? At least it should get you started. It might ask you for a password. If it does, it's Rome. Okay. Okay, so make sure you keep this link. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 20 minutes to kind of go through it again. Maybe you can already come up with the civilization that you want to cover, and you can send me a private message under CPT. Okay, so take 20 minutes to review the document, the CPT document. Okay. And when we come back at about 1:20, you can ask me more questions. Okay. 20 minutes.